It says we're live. So, welcome from the Crossroads of America, 1 hour talk show shooting with disabilities on Wednesdays here. Talk guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. We will answer questions from the audience, either in chat or by email at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page and a one-time payment thing through PayPal. It's all down there in the info section. And that's it. I mean, today you can't see my beautiful face today because I've had thunderstorms on and off all day and my internet keeps going out. So I'm running this off my phone, my hotspot on my phone. So I'm trying to keep the bandwidth down. So that's why you ain't going to see you ain't going to see my handsome face today. So who we got in the chat? Who we got in? First in was Jason Stewart, then Gun Loving Grandpa, Mystic Guns, Raphael. Kingpin's joined us in here. Oh, hey, they're all coming in here now. Rich White's here. So they're all trickling in. And so let me introduce my panel so far. I've got Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Oh, doing well, Rick. Thanks for the invite. It's good to see you. Hello, everybody.
No, and we got the one and only Kingpin.
What's happening, Rick? Hello, everybody.
Going good. And we got Guns and Barbecue.
How you doing, Rick?
Doing good. I don't know if you heard me explain it to everybody. I'm not using my camera today because I'm running off my cell phone. My internet, because we got thunderstorms all day, my internet keeps cutting in and out. So I wasn't going to take the chance of it. It still could disconnect off my phone too, but it normally doesn't. So,
yeah, I heard you say that, which my first thought was, I was like, oh, great. I can, plan for the weather in about 8 to 10 hours. Then I know it's coming now. Thanks for being a fortune teller.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. All right. So, anybody else joined us in the chat so far? No. Might be a quiet night tonight, but that's okay. All right. Where are we at? I got a question here we can start with. Have you had to make any modifications to your firearms to accommodate your disability? And there's a part 2 to it. Is there any special equipment you use at the range? Well, I can start that off. I haven't made any modifications to my firearms. All I've done is, I've said this before, for carry, I've dropped down to a 380 to stop for the recoil. But I still shoot my other guns down at the range. But instead of like when I was carrying the 45, I'll shoot maybe practice shooting 100 rounds. I can't do that anymore. I might shoot just 1 or 2 magazines of the 45, because otherwise it just tears my hands up. And but that's about all I did on modification. I haven't really touched anything on the guns to make them easier. Oh no, that's not true. But I wouldn't call it a modification for my disability. I think anybody who buys one is smart enough should do this. On my Polish P64 that I bought. I don't know if anybody's got one, but when you get it, that thing has about a 25-pound trigger pull, it feels like. It nearly broke my finger. So I went online, I can't even remember where I went now, and I bought a lighter spring to put in it, which I did, which made it a lot. I think it, took it down a few pounds to make it easier to pull. It's still a heavy pull, but it's a lot better. That's the only thing I've done on mine. And special equipment. My scooter, when I used to use that, or a chair is the only equipment I take with me. I bought me a new, I've got a new stand that I use for my targets, but anybody can have one of those. It's nothing special. So That's about me. Guns and Barbecue, you done any modifications or anything like that?
Well, I got a quick question for you first, Rick.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 380 Easy from Smith & Wesson you have, it comes with a very light recoil spring to make cocking easier. Would you say one of the reasons that you bought that is just for that feature? I say, because in a sense, while it comes like that, it could still be like a modification in a sense because you purposely bought a firearm that is super easy to rack. And then would you want to modify any of your other firearms to be that easily racked?
Well, I thought about that, but I'm afraid I wouldn't. First off, I would have to take it to somebody to do it because I'm not smart enough to gunsmithing wise to do it. Because you still got to have enough in there to, like you're shooting a 45. You still got to have enough. I'm trying to think of the word power to make sure that slide goes all the way back and forward again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to have
a lot of spring in there. It might not do it.
Yeah, you got to have enough spring to make sure it's going to cycle and whatnot. Yeah. And you have the issues like with the Easy. I think they made this slide lighter. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they did. It wasn't just swapping out a recoil spring or anything. But just hypothetically, if you had that option with any of your other handguns, is it something you would do?
No, not really. Actually, I wouldn't mind trying that with my 1911 to have it easier to pull the slide back. In single action, I mean, pulling the trigger is not a problem on any of my guns. It's pulling that slide back that's the problem. So I would like to have something like that on my 1911. But then again, I said it might take me a year to get it, but my next sort of like major gun purchase I got my eye on is to buy the Easy 9mm that come out with it now. Maybe if I was looking and the 9mm was out around the same time or just after the 380, I might have waited and gone for that. But that's the way to. So I just might just. So I'm going to try to buy the 9mm. My dealer right now only has one in stock, and it was the black version. Because I'm talking about Performance Center. If you're going to buy one, you might as well go with all the good goodies on it. So I want one in silver with the silver barrel, silver trigger, and the silver looking. Everything silver on it that can be made silver to make it look like a pimp gun. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, hope that's answered your question. But anyway, back to you, Guns and Barbecue. Have you modified anything?
I always like to lead with a disclaimer of, I'm fortunate enough to have a small amount of vision still. So I want to try and change out the sights on a couple of my handguns. See if going with a fiber optic sight or night sights at night would help me pick up the front sight at all, because I could see the rear sight, but I can't see the front sight. So all the shooting I'm doing with a handgun is just muscle memory, point and shoot. When it comes to long guns, I can still see through an optic very well, but a lot of the performance optics, I guess we could call them, your long range rifle scopes and things like that, I have the issue with those that they have very fine crosshairs and I can't see the crosshairs. So I actually have to go with a bargain scope because those typically have thicker crosshairs, things like that. But then I can pick those up. So if you count swapping out a scope or something, modification, then yeah. But as far as the fiber optics go for like my handguns and things like that, I don't think those are going to be a help either to see that front sight, because that 329 PD, just bought has a red fiber optic sight, and I mean, just holding the thing in front of my face, like I can tell that it's red, but there's just no chance of seeing it when I'm trying to aim. So still stuck with the whole point and shoot thing, but I'm hoping here in the near future I'll get some night sights for the 1911 and get those put on. And like I said, just out of curiosity, see if I can pick those up at night, see if it makes a difference at all. But I'm not holding my breath at this point.
Yeah. What about those big dot sights where you put that big white dot on the front of the gun?
I don't know. How big is the dot? Is it what I should ask first? Because I'm not real familiar with those.
On
Well,
most,
it's bigger. It's I put it on my 45 originally. I took it back off because I didn't like them. I couldn't get used to them. But you can definitely see it easier. It's a big. I don't know how you would describe it. How big it was. It's bigger than a normal sight.
Yeah,
that's all I say. They're big. Somebody in the chat's asking, have you tried red dots on the pistols?
I was at a local shop and I at least got to look through one, but the lighting inside the shop was really poor. So while I could see the reticle, I couldn't actually see anything past the lens or anything. That's another thing I'm looking into. I was thinking about getting probably a SIG P365 XL. That way I can throw I think one of the SIG Romeos on there and give that a go. But at the same time, I would much rather just try one out and have the chance to see in good lighting if I could actually still aim with that or not. Like I said, I could pick up the reticle, but with the lighting in the shop, I couldn't see any distance with it to actually aim. And they had a couple mannequins in the shop and stuff that I could aim at, but it was just too dark in there.
Okay. Actually, I haven't thought about that. I mean, my eyesight's, I wear glasses. I mean, I'm kind of blind without them, but I can see, the sights on the end of my gun and stuff. I really haven't thought about doing the red dot thing. I don't know.
I guess that they're really nice to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard that they're really nice and they help out, especially for people that are getting up in age and have ailing eyes. I think one of the things that would help is if they started and got away from the red dots and started making green and blue reticles. I know, like with some of the scopes, you can get an illuminated green reticle. So that would be a step in the right direction. But blue and green are the colors that I can pick up best. So I've seen
that's like lasers. I think the green one's easier to pick up than a red one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. I didn't even talk about rifles because I'm not into rifles. So I don't know. I mean, I know shooting my 12 gauge. I keep wanting to say 12 bore because living in England's so goddamn long, But my 12 gauge is it hurts the hell out of my show. I mean, when I'm shooting it at the time, it's not a problem. It's when I'm back home relaxing in the evening or whatever, then my the arthritis in my shoulders sort of like it flares up, or because it's had the hell beaten out of it, But rifles, I mean, I said I only got one rifle, and that's a 22, at the moment. So I don't have that problem. All right. What about you, Jason? You made any modifications?
yeah, I usually paint all my sights if I can't replace them. The 3-dot white sights, I can't see white. It becomes a great big blur, and it'll blur so bad that I can't even pick up like the black outline of the frame of the sights. So
okay.
I color my front sights, usually orange or green, and I almost always black out my rear ones. And that really seems to be my favorite. I just enjoy that sight picture a lot better. But on the issue you're talking about, the big dot sights, I have a
Yeah.
lot of big dot sights, and yes, they are a lot larger, probably like a third added onto the size. But what I like is they really fill up that rear notch. And if you get a rear sight like a Wilson Combat or something that has a U shape instead of a flat square notch, that great big front round dot just fills up that back sight. I mean, you can't be off left or right. I mean, it just like automatically pulls it right in. And yeah, they are very quick to pick up. If you're like covering your target with the dot, you know what I mean, instead of holding
Yeah.
like at 6 o'clock, they do kind of block out your bullseye on a paper target. But if
That's
you
the
get
trouble
used
I
to
was having.
that, if you get used to that, I mean, you just gotta just trust yourself. You know what I mean? It's still gonna hit that bullseye if you cover the whole thing up with it. But yeah, those large dot sights, yeah, they do work. I mean, they pick up really fast. And like I said, when you get them close enough that they almost fill up the complete rear sight, I mean, you can't be off. It just lines itself up automatically. But definitely 3-dot white sights, I can't do a thing with them, even with my reading glasses, without them, sunglasses. It's just the white. I just can't pick it up.
Okay, so but the actual thing of the large dot worked. You just got to change the color.
Yeah. Just you
All
usually
right.
buy them, and they're usually colored.
Okay.
Usually, because most of them are also a night sight in the very, very middle of them. But I don't concern myself with the night sight part. I'm for
Yeah.
the large color, so I can pick it up.
All right. All right. Hey, Kingpin, I know you. I mean, I know you like being on my panel here, and you have some interesting stuff to say. But I class you as a normal person, physically.
I'm a normal.
I'm not saying you're normal mentally, but I'm saying you're normal physically.
Well, I would agree. Midnight put it out. The trigger job would probably be the first thing you would think of, because that will cover, arthritis, tendonitis, different kinds of issues with your fingers and your wrist or your forearm and elbow. My
Yeah.
question for you, Rick, since you're a reloader, have you ever considered lightening the loads in your
No.
45 to try to dampen the recoil?
Well, on my 45, I use the minimum loads it says to start with. I could drop below that. I've never dropped below it because I'm afraid to be honest with you.
So you already went to a lighter load before you
Oh
switched.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even like that, my latest, my 45 Colt, I load it to a cowboy load, and that's real light, So, oh yeah, I tried to, load light loads for my plinking. It makes life easier. Now, when I loaded my defense ammo for my 380, I beefed it up a little. I went sort of halfway from, I didn't go the maximum amount. I went halfway on what it said it should have to beef that up just a little, give it a little kick, But that's about it, really. So, just out of curiosity, you made any adjustments to your firearms for any reason?
No, I generally am pretty stock. I like to keep the stuff. The way I usually think about it is, if I didn't like build an AR, if I just bought a store-bought type of gun, I generally think that the manufacturer knows better than I do. There's been a couple modifications, like I've got the PT-100 that Jason sent me some stuff, mainspring and different stuff like that has made the gun better. But for generally the most part, I keep the gun stock.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of too. I mean, I guess I'm a traditionalist. Is that the word I'm looking for? I like things the way I got them. You know, I don't like making many changes to anything. Oh, and we got Willed and Well Armed with us. He joined us. How you doing? Is he there? Hit the mute button. Talk to me.
There we go. How about that?
All right. Did you hear what we were talking about?
I did. I've been here for about 5 minutes now.
So, have you done any modifications to your firearms?
I did. I do a lot, actually. So all my AR-15s to get that easy trigger pull, being a quadriplegic, I immediately put in the JP spring kit and bring it down to 3.5 pounds, and that spring kit usually gives it down to about 3 pounds, actually. I've tried the Geisley trigger Brown Elves. It was on sale last year for $125 with free shipping, and that got down to slightly below 3 pounds, which is real nice, and it's got a real fast reset as well. And then most all my pistols are in the CZ family now, and so they all have Cajunized or CZ custom shop trigger parts. And so, I always go a little farther and do the, in 10 Faglio world, they call it the Bolo, and then in CZ world, they call it the Interrupt, which it gives you a faster reset. And then I go with the longer trigger, the firing pin for increased accuracy, and then I'd go with the spring kit to reduce the poundage on the finger. So some of my best Shadow 2 is 1.11 pounds. 1 pound 11 ounces. That's pretty damn light.
Yeah, Kingpin says CZs come perfect from the factory. They ain't Glocks.
They come pretty nice from the factory.
Yeah.
They're good enough for my left hand, but even on my Glocks, I put in the Gray Guns trigger bar in there, and that gets it down to 3.5 pounds. That's kind of the magic number for my left hand, and I got to get closer to 3 pounds for my right hand.
Okay. Yep. The other part of that question was, is there any special equipment that you take to the range with you because of your disability?
No, I don't think so. I have a holster set up. My range doesn't really like me pulling from the holster, but with certain range officers, they'll say, "Hey, I'm going in the other room, and you can practice with your holster."
Okay, like when you're shooting rifles.
Yeah.
Do you use a normal setup, or do you have it hooked up to your wheelchair?
Yeah, all my rifles are shorter, so 9 to 11 inch barrel. So I don't have a lot of front heavy weight. I don't have any stomach muscles, so I actually do use that. I can shoot one-handed, using that adapter. I found that the only ones that really work are the tail hooks by Gearhead. Have you ever heard of those?
No, I haven't.
The Gearhead ones are actually working. The SB, I can't ever get that rubber around my wrist, and then when you hold out your arm, your elbow doesn't bend upward, it bends downward, and so you can't really look down the barrel. So but the Gearhead tail hook, it looks the same, but it has a bar that flips down, and it hooks into below your elbow, and when you hold the pistol grip, it's much higher, and you can actually look down the sights.
Okay, all right. Rich Wright says he saw a guy at an outdoor range that had his swing arm mounted to the back of his wheelchair to use as the rifle rest. Oh yeah, that sounds that could be done.
Yeah, I don't have any armrest on mine, but on my four-wheel drive chair, I'm looking at putting something on it where I'd have a bar across the front, and I could take a a 12
Yeah.
gauge, full size.
All right. All right. We've had another member join us on the panel here. The one and only, the man, the legend, the myth, or was it the other way around? Patriot in the Dark.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right. Not too bad. How you doing?
Wonderful. 25 days and the daughter goes to school.
You don't sound good.
I don't sound good?
No.
Oh, it's a different microphone. I'm trying to be
I thought you were
cool.
sick.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No. I mean, earlier, as I said when I started the show, the reason you're not seeing my handsome face is we've had thunderstorms on and off all day and evening here. My internet keeps going out, so I'm running off my hotspot on my phone. I'm trying to keep the bandwidth down, So just wanted to let people know that in case you missed my beautiful looks, So, all right. So I know it's a dumb question, but have you done any modifications to your firearms, Patriot?
Not really. I've done like a spring kit on the revolver on my 442, but besides just grips, that kind of thing. Nothing that was. I don't change my sights, if you ask them that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
I just wanted to bring you into the conversation. I know you more likely didn't because you can change your sights, but it's still not going to help you any, is it?
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do have some lasers and stuff for pistols and that, but I've used them a couple times, with a spotter kind of thing, but I don't like, having other people tell me what to do. So, but yeah, so the only other thing that I do different at the range is, I use those key finder noisemakers, but
yeah. Okay, I saw your video that you put out. Was that today or yesterday?
This morning, the Blind Brothers, two Blind Brothers.
Yeah. It took me a while. I had to turn my head sideways to read the label because you had them upside down.
Yeah, well, I was doing them cool. So.
But I know what I liked about them. It was in Braille too. Yeah,
the shirts, I guess. I like I said, all I know is what they sent me, and then what I won from that channel. Because I haven't purchased anything from them, but just their descriptions and stuff are, like on their shirts, like right above the hem, they'll have some tactile braille and stuff to know what color and what the shirt is and stuff. But I think even the T-shirts that have words on them are written in braille underneath too, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but all their profits go to research for curing blindness.
Now, special equipment you use at the range. I know you got some because you use those things to hit, sound off at the target.
Yeah, I use the key finders, unless I'm at the indoor range, because it's really bad feedback in there because of everything being so close.
Yeah.
And then you're in your little alley there, and you got the high sides next to you, so it just kind of bounces around. So it's and it's pretty much straight ahead of you anyways. They don't jump around on the lane. But outside for sure, yeah, I use the key finders, and you can pick them up, like 5 of them for $20 because you do shoot them too. So, but, yeah, the worst thing is the batteries. Just they're the big flat, whatever the larger round ones.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, that's if you get good enough, you're gonna have to keep shooting them every time you go out there. You got to miss them every now and then.
Well, I put them above the target, so I don't really shoot at the sound. I shoot below it. Try to.
Okay.
Yeah. So I put them above the target, and I basically shoot, chest height at the target, because that's usually people aren't any taller than that. So,
All right.
and they're usually talking above their chest. So,
All right, so everybody, just avoid doing anything to Patriot because he's going to hear your voice and he's going to shoot you in the dome.
just
Yeah.
lean over when you do it so that I shoot underneath.
Yeah. Well, I'm
After you-
afraid of is don't sound off anything on you when you walk into your car or something.
Yeah.
After you piss them off, then you got to be quiet.
Yeah.
Somebody's cell phone rings, and then all of a sudden, Patriot starts blasting them. Moving targets.
That's my nightmare as a ventriloquist coming after me, because then I'll be screwed.
All right. So good to see everybody here. Midnight Range joined us, by the way, if anybody's noticed, because he's lowered the tone of the chat a little bit, but that's
Does
okay.
anybody have Jeff Dunham's phone number?
I still like it, So
Anybody have what number?
Jeff Dunham's.
That's funny.
okay. Now, see, I can't answer this one because I didn't start shooting till after I got hurt. It says, was there ever a time that your disability made you think you would have to give up your shooting sports? And how long was it before you found a solution to overcome your disability and engage in shooting again? So, Will and Well Armed, did you shoot before your accident?
Yes, I did. I used to shoot trap and skeet. I used to hunt, deer hunt mostly. And when I was in the Army, I was in a national competition on the U.S. Army team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you ever think that you would never get back, you never do it again?
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't for the first 10 years of me being injured. So it's only been the last 10 years that I have been shooting. So I still haven't been deer hunting. I do have that new 4-wheel drive wheelchair, but I don't have a trailer to take it anywhere. And I got big deer in downtown Dunwoody, but no way I could shoot them. It's there's a house every 75 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did have a big buck just out hitting my bird feeders with his big rack. Yeah, it was a 12-pointer, and
Wow.
that next door neighbor was feeding him 50 pounds of grain a week. And they got really big. And anyway, now, so I got a crossbow. I was thinking I was gonna shoot it with a crossbow, and then my wife took it and put it in the attic, so I couldn't use it.
She don't want you to shoot the deer in the yard, huh?
No, she didn't.
No. All right. But then you found a way to overcome it because you're back into it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So what about you, Patriot? Did you ever think you wouldn't shoot again, or did you just,
I shot when I was younger, in the Marines and stuff, and then I traveled a lot, and so I didn't shoot. And then I didn't get back into it until I was blind probably for about 2 years before I decided I wanted to. Told that story before about just buying a 1911 so I could take it apart and have something to do, and then I found out that it was a lot more fun to shoot them, and then the rest is downhill. But yeah, I didn't mess around with it for I don't know 15 years or so.
Okay. I said, like, man, I didn't get into shooting until after my accident at work. And the only thing that changed was I'm left-handed, so I originally learned to shoot left-handed. And after I had my surgery on my hand, it got screwed up, and I lost you know, was it just, I think it's 25-30% use of my hand. So, but while it was healing, I went and I went and even got an instructor to teach me to shoot right-handed. So now I shoot right-handed all the time now. It feels natural, my right hand. But when I shoot my shotgun in my rifle, it goes up to my left shoulder automatically. I really might have to practice doing it with my right. I mean, just to hold it up on my right shoulder feels awkward. Plus, arthritic-wise, my right shoulder is the worst one. I mean, my left arm I can hold up above my head, but my right arm I can't get it that high. So holding the rifle up, it hurts like hell just to put it in a position to hold it, So I just might keep it on to my left. So anyway, guns and barbecue. Did you shoot before you started having your vision issues?
Oh, I've honestly shot just about my whole life. I got my first BB gun when I was 3, and the rest was history. When I was 28 is when my vision went, and for a solid year after that, I didn't carry or anything. One of the reasons was I always open carried. It was just my preferred method, and I experimented with inside the waistband, and I've never liked it. So I was thinking I don't have the same awareness that I would have before. So for a year solid, I didn't carry at all. I didn't go shooting, and I honestly didn't think I was going to really be able to partake in any sort of firearms sports again. I remember I would talk to a lot of people that would say, how could you carry? What if you did this? What if you did that? Seems like you're going to have more liability, greater risk for whatever. And I don't know. It was just one day I was thinking to myself, because I had a lot of free time to think, and it just hit me as like, why would I have any more added liability? Why am I listening to these people? Where in the Second Amendment does it say you have the right to bear arms only if you're able-bodied? And I tried to start looking into different carry options. One of the problems I was having was just finding a holster that I liked. Then I actually started hearing about Patriot's channel, and after a few months, I reached out to him, and that was more so to get my YouTube channel started. But just knowing that what he deals with, it encouraged me more that, hey, you can do this. And it was only probably about 6 months ago that I really started carrying again consistently.
Oh, okay. All right. So there you go. Who else we got? Jason. Have I asked you yet about that?
Yeah, but I really don't have any disabilities other than close to 50 years old.
Oh man, I wish I was that young again. So all right. Who else we got in here? Kingpin is the normal guy. He hasn't got any. He doesn't have to worry about thought of shooting again.
I wake up every morning and question, do I still have it in me to shoot? I go to bed every night wondering, is this really going to be a part of my life? And then I go on the website and check Maryland state laws, and then they still haven't banned guns here, so I'm good.
All right. New York Outcast said he's on his way home. He's getting gas, and it wouldn't let him on again. Yeah, I saw you coming in and out. Sorry about that, New York Outcast. Anyway, hopefully you'll be here on Saturday. You on your computer, kick the kids and wife off it and jump on it, so you can be on the panel. All right, so hang on, let me mark that off of my list as being off my questions of being answered. So we know where we're at. So I don't know how to answer this one. I mean, how has your disability changed your shooting habits? I mean, all I know is my back, because when I first started shooting, my back hurt, but not as bad as it does now. And of course, the arthritis in my hips has got worse. Plus, I had a replacement hip in the left. I still got to get the right one done. And the only change in my shooting habits is I have to sit sometimes to shoot. I can't stand up as long as I used to. That's the only change I have in my shooting habits on that question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like you, willed and well armed. It's you had. I mean, you had your changes because you're now unfortunately confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah. So prone is out and standing is out. So that just leaves seated, right? So that's the biggest one for me. Let's see, how else? I used to do a lot more distant shooting, and I haven't picked up my rifle in 10 years. I just have no real feel for it anymore. So I don't know if I plan on getting back to it, but just lack of, I'm living in the city now, and lack of long range targets are, the main problem here. And 100 yards just at that, it's just too easy. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So that's the biggest change, I'd say.
Okay. What about you, Guns and Barbecue?
Well, I can't drive or anything, so I'm really reliant on somebody taking me to the range, which that either involves my ammunition being shot by other people as well, which, I mean, hey, you took me to the range, you picked up some of my ammo, but it doesn't seem like they ever bring their own ammo at all. So that gets expensive. Obviously I can just, pay for gas, but that doesn't ever seem to be the option, is that they want to shoot my ammo. I'm right-handed, so I was right eye dominant. But now my right eye has extremely little vision in it at all. I think my eye doctor said if we cut my eye into 16ths, it's just the lower right 16th that I actually have vision in. So I've actually had to switch over to shooting rifles left-handed, just because I've got a bit more vision out of that eye. So changing hands, which nice thing was I'd always mess around at the range, shooting weak hand just for shits and giggles. My uncles and cousins and I, we would kind of make a game out of, who could shoot better weak-handed and things like that. So that wasn't a huge transition, but it's something that I've had to do now. Like I said, with pistols, it doesn't matter because I can't see the front sight to aim anyway, so it's just point and shoot. And one thing I have done, and this might actually fall into an earlier question of, things at the range to help us or whatnot. I use brighter targets like the green silhouettes. I find that helps me just with some color contrast. But yeah, so just not being able to go to the range as often as I'd like. I mean, honestly, I probably only get there a couple times a year now, and having to shoot left-handed.
And will your wife take you?
No wife. About a year after all this happened, she called it quits and whatnot. So there's public transportation options. I shouldn't say, there's a local group called the Keystone Blind Association. I could reach out to them. Supposedly they'll take me anywhere in the county for whatever I want. I don't know if they'd actually take me to the range or not. but I haven't reached out to them. I don't know. There's some things I need to get over still with this, and I've always been a very independent person, so going and contacting them, seeing, if I can get a ride to the range or something. I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's a insecurity or security type thing for me of, do I do that? But so it's just being reliant on a friend or family member that is free and available and wants to go to the range at this point.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you mean. Even for me, I mean, I hate asking for help. I really do. Even when I'm shopping, I'm not talking about on the range or anything, but even when I'm out shopping, and say I get to take something off the shelf and it falls out of my hand and hits the floor, for argument's sake. I'll either bend over to pick it up. But if somebody's there, come running over. I'll get it for you. And I would say, no, it's all right. I got it. And I wonder if I'm sounding rude because I don't want the help. Just leave me alone. I don't know why I refuse to take the help when all they're trying to be is to help you. And I keep turning them away.
Yeah,
that's something I got to work on. Yeah,
I've always been that guy that people would come to, whether they needed financial help or help moving or help in whatever way. I was always the go-to guy, and I've got to realize that, I'm the one that needs to start asking for some help now. But it's just, like I said, it's a pill I haven't been able to swallow yet.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I have a quick question for the panel.
Yeah.
When you started back into shooting, or as your disability got to where it's at today, have you improved in shooting? Like, for instance, Patriot, when obviously you can't tell if he was hitting the target or not, but now that he's got the little beepers, he can tell if he's any more accurate or not. Or like, Guns and Barbecue has vision issues. Have you, since you've gotten into shooting again since your disability, have you seen improvement in your shooting, or are you pretty much static? Like when you first picked up the gun, you're just as good. This is post disability, not before. Or are you exactly the same skill level, or have you gotten better despite your disabilities?
Who wants to start on it?
What's that, Rick?
Yeah, go ahead and start.
All right. Honestly, I haven't been to the range enough to tell 100%. Part of the reason is depending on who I go with, which a lot of times it's just getting a hold of my uncle, like, hey, you want to go do some shooting this weekend? And we've got a friend that's got a big rock pit at his farm, and we go down there and we'll just set up, whatever's convenient, cardboard boxes, jugs of water, something like that. And so there's no way for me to have a good reference. Like the one day I skipped the jug of water across the rock pit, like 5 shots in a row, in a rapid fire succession. The movement of the water jug, because it was with a Detonix 45 ACP, the water jug just exploded on the first shot, and then the movement of it, I was able to kind of catch it and keep following it. And so just, again, on muscle reaction, because there was no aiming going on, I skipped it across, and I think it went from being about 7 yards away from me to about 25 yards away from me. But honestly, I think that was all luck.
All right, but then again, you got muscle memory.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not getting to go to the range like I used to, and I'm worried, that whole if you don't use it, you lose it thing. While they say you never forget how to ride a bike. Well, if you haven't ridden a bike in 10 years, when you get back on that bike, you're kind of wobbly.
Yeah. You got a point. You got a point. So, all right. Sorry, I was just trying to.
Hey, Rick, this is
Yes.
Willed and Well Armed. On your other question, I was going to chime in there. I do have old ladies always try to help me put my wheelchair together and apart when I get out of the car, and
Yeah.
I mean, and they're much, much older than me. I mean, I'm 55 and they're in their 80s. And I always say no. But I did have this real pretty lady, much younger than me, come up and I did let her help, tell you the truth.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes. I mean, like when I was in Walmart a couple of weeks ago, or was it last month? There was this Walmart employee. I asked her to get something for me off the shelf, and she had to bend down to the bottom shelf to get it. I let her get it for me, But otherwise, I don't. Normally, what I'll do is I'll use my walking stick. Or if something's above me, I'll use my walking stick and pull it to the end. And when it falls off, I catch it.
Yeah,
It's
I do the same thing. I don't have a walking stick, but I'll go get something like a hairdryer box and get the medicine or whatever is on the top row.
Yeah, yeah, and also like when I was, when I was in Rhode Island and I used the indoor range, everybody always wanted to help me in there when I was shooting, make sure, like if I stood up to do something. But normally, if I shot for a little while, then I had a chair with they always gave me a chair to sit on, because what I would do was I would shoot for a little while, then sit down for a little while, then get back up, But when they see me stop shooting and getting ready to sit down, they all want to come over and sort of like grab my arm and sort of like guide me into the chair type thing, and I would keep chasing them away. They know I can do it. But there you go. But today sitting down is not a problem for me. I have no problem sitting down. It's getting up is the hard part for me because of my weak, because of my hips and my back. I can get up. What I normally do is normally. If I sit in a chair, if I'm at somebody's house and they say take a seat and it's the couch, I would always sit on the right hand side because I can use the right hand armrest to push myself up as I'm getting up. So that's the kind of stuff I have to deal with. But that's like even getting into my truck. Unfortunately, my old F-150 doesn't have a handheld thing inside the passenger door. Not the passenger door, the driver's door, but it has one on the passenger side, but not the driver's side, which I find weird. But so what I have to do is I grab hold of the steering wheel with my right hand, and my right hip is bad, but I can't do it. Maybe I didn't do enough physical therapy. But I can't I got this foot plate that I put my right foot on and pull myself up. So I'm standing on this foot plate. Then I sit in my seat and swing myself around. But I can't put my left leg up there and pull myself up. I don't know, the leg just doesn't give me the oomph to get up there, So if worst comes to worst, and I've done this before when my right hip really bad, I carry a small stool inside my truck. I got a long piece of string on it. I will hold the string, step on the stool, step on the step, then get into the truck, then get the string and pull the stool back into the truck with me. I've done that before too. when I'm really in pain. But what's up? Rick would have went and continued following that chick in DC kingpin. Oh, wasn't talking about that woman from Walmart. All right, sorry, but that's sorry, I got carried away reading the chat there. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of issues I have. And I mean, I know. I said I've lost another 3 pounds this week, so it's going slow, but I'm getting there slowly. You know, when I lose some weight, it will make life a lot easier for me. I know a lot of my issue is weight. You know, because my old back and my legs and my hips have to hold a lot of weight up. So I'm working on it.
I wonder why they have gotten rid of a lot of the grab bars. I saw New York Outcast also said he was missing it. On my Lincoln, I don't have any grab bars. They might be in the back seat, but not on the front seat or passenger side.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why it's not there. I've seen trucks with them on both sides. I used to. I haven't looked in anybody else's truck lately to see if they're there. You know, but it's now like if I get into a car. So normally, if I'm driving or if I'm in the passenger seat, I have to lower myself in with my feet. My feet are still out, and I lower myself into the seat. Then I have to bring my legs in, sort of like swing my butt around and bring my legs with me to get inside the truck. I can't just sort of like open the car door, slip your right leg in there, and sit down and bring the left one in. You do it automatically without even thinking about it. But when you can't do it anymore, it sure make you have to stop and think, how in the hell I'm going to get in here, you know? So I know I had that. Plus, also because of the way I got to swing myself in, I got to make sure if somebody else is driving and I'm the passenger, it's not sort of like the door and the seat. I mean, it for lack of a better way, it's wide enough for me to sit down and swing my legs around. Small cars are a bitch. I can get at them, but it's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like my friend used to pick me up in his Ford Ranger. Now the cabin of a Ford Ranger is tight because when I get in, my knees are touching the glove box. You know, so it makes it harder for me to get in and out. But I can do it. I wouldn't want to go on no 8-hour trip sitting in there, but just to go down the road, I can do it. The bigger, the better is the way I look at it. Anyway, damn, is that the time? Let me give you the question for this week's quiz. If you guys missed it on Saturday, I only got two responses so far, I should say. What I wanted to know is on the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, I want to know what the rifle is. On the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, I want to know what the rifle is. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Oh, that answer was given to me by a guy called Gavin from the morning chat on Discord. Unfortunately, I don't have the link for it today to give it to you guys, but if you email me, I'll send you a link to the Discord. So anyway, I need the make and model of the rifle on the Good Conduct Medal, Marine Corps. So there you go. So you should know that one, Patriot, being an ex-Marine. So anything else you guys want to talk about, or we should start winding it down?
Can I catch that last question?
I said my quiz. You heard my quiz question, right?
No. The question before that you were answering. So something about going to the range now. The only thing I worry about going to the range is I pay more attention to the sighted people because I notice how crazy they are now. That was something that was a while ago. Sorry, I missed it.
Okay. Why didn't you normally buy in like you normally do?
I'm trying to be polite. Squib's not here. I don't have
Okay.
to be rude.
That's how we got all those good conduct medals.
Yeah. I was up here just feeling. Yeah.
Now, you heard my quiz question, right?
Yes.
No,
It's
what I
not a
said was,
Glock. It's not a
you should know
Glock.
the answer to that. Unless you never got a good conduct medal.
Oh,
You know?
hey.
All right, let me wind this up. We'll start over here with Jason. Any plugs or shout outs, buddy?
Thanks for the invite, Rick. Hope your internet gets better. And everybody out there, I hope you have a good week.
Thank you for being here. Kingpin,
Have a good night, everybody.
thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, as always.
Real quick, I got one for you. Maybe when you get to Wheeled and Well Armed, you can throw a plug in there. But apparently, he has some patches. So, get a hold of him and buy some patches.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guns and Barbecue. Any shout outs or plugs?
If you are a visually impaired person or know somebody who is, definitely go over and watch Patriot's video from today. For what was it, Patriot? Blind to Billionaire, you said? Is the
Yes. Blind to Billionaire is the channel. He does a lot of low vision stuff. He's a finance guy, so he does all sorts of numbers and math.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he had a giveaway from two blind brothers.
Yeah, and that stuff's really cool. So, like I said, if you're visually impaired or know somebody who is, especially if you're looking for gift ideas, that would be something that would be really neat to go check out. Check out Patriot's video.
All right. Willed and Well Armed. Any plugs or shout outs?
No, thank you very much for the invite, and as usual. And then I do have patches. They are the Willed and Well Armed. There's two types. There's the green and black and blue and white. I'm selling them for $5. But anybody here on the Disability Network that wants one, that's a content provider, I'll send you one for free.
All right. To buy them, where do they find them? You got a website?
I'll just on my site. I'll set up a PayPal account there, and all they have to do is look for the About section on my site. Yeah, on the About, okay. There'll be a contact me, and I'll set up a PayPal account for $5, and that'll include shipping and everything.
Okay, there you go. All right, Patriot in the Dark. Any shout outs or plugs?
I just recommend this guy, Rick, Life as I See It. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. Now, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Sorry I was running late, but I'm kind of winded because T-minus 25 days and my daughter goes back to school face-to-face out of my hair. Whew. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So just stay happy out there. Thanks, Rick.
Okay.
One more thing.
What was that?
I got one more thing. Going back to Willed and Well Arms patches, he already got a couple out to me, and these things are like just really heavy duty, awesome patches. So just wanted to interject that real quick.
All right. Okay. So if you're buying one, well worth the $5. So there
Definitely.
You go. All right. Okay. Anybody out in the chat, if you got any questions you want to know about shooting with disabilities, send them to me at my normal email, rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com, and I can, bring them up in the chat and over the next coming. So anything like that would be truly helpful. So I appreciate it. So I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. And I know I'm lucky that I managed to stay in Eastern time zone right here in Indiana. I tell you, I'm right on that line. You know, go
Well, you're
4
on that.
miles, go 4 miles west, and I'm in Central Time. So I lucked out. So
Better hope there's no earthquakes.
yes.
You want to slide over to that other side.
The dark side.
It just
Yeah,
makes you
yeah.
appreciate it more. Just look out your back window and see that fraudulent time zone, and just appreciate this one more.
Yep. So I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all on Saturday. So good night, everybody.
Good night, Sabrina.
Pay it forward, everybody.